Hey guys, how you doing? Kevin Thompson here. Before the show starts, just want to have a brief word from our sponsors, and I would like to thank Avrohom Gottheil for coming on the show because you know what? He produced a great episode for us. He was very informative. He was very interesting. He talked a lot about different places that he traveled, went into history a little bit, how he started his business, and also how he got a program to circulate worldwide. So, you know what, guys? Let's take it away. Brief word from our sponsors, and then we will kick it off. All right. So this episode is brought to you by websitewarriors.co. This is my company. I'm being transparent with you because you know what? I will benefit from this if you decide to use it. So what is it? It is a web design, graphic design, and marketing company, aka a media company. We build elegant websites for you that are responsive, they're crisp, they're clean, and they leave your visitors and your target market going, wow, because it works well, it feels great for the user, and you know what? It looks badass. So if you guys need web design services, contact me. I have an awesome graphic designer as well, by the way. So if you need logos, any graphics, any images, any videos animated like that, I have somebody that you can use, but contact me. And last but not least, marketing. I'm a marketing consultant. If you need any strategizing, if you ever just want to talk about marketing a little bit and you're ever stuck, feel free to contact me. We'll work something out. So now, guys, without further ado, I'm going to let myself take it away. Enjoy the episode, guys. I know that you will.
Hold up. Yeah.
Swirl.
All right. So this is the first ever episode of the Real Conversations with Real Entrepreneurs, and I'm glad to have as my first guest, Avrohom Gottheil. So Avrohom, first question, we're coming out completely different from every other podcast. What is the most exciting thing you've done the past month?
The most exciting thing I've done in the past month, believe it or not, has been I was actually a guest on a podcast for the very first time.
Yeah? Is it this one or another one?
No, a different one.
There you
about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it was a new thing for me.
Yeah? So what did you enjoy about it?
I just enjoyed the flow. It's funny because the conversation was really about me as an entrepreneur, not really business talk and, about the products and the business. It was just a free form conversation. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm glad we're going to have another one of those. Hopefully we get some more questions that are a little curiosity driven for you though. So,
yeah, sounds good.
So just introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, how you got your start in entrepreneurship and with your business and all of that great stuff. We're eager to know. We're biting on our fingernails. Awesome. Tell us about it.
All right. Well, that should take us about a half hour. Sure. Okay. So I'm a small business owner. I have a company called Simaplex Technologies, which is basically a provider of cloud-based communication solution. And in English, what that basically means is I help businesses with their telephones, all their phone needs. I help them save time. I help them save money by providing affordable, easy-to-use solutions, leveraging the latest and greatest cloud technology. So, in a nutshell, that's what I do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get started in it?
Yeah, I got started. Okay, so that takes us back a little bit, on a journey. So I used to work for a company called Avaya. Avaya is a leader in the telecom industry. They're actually global #1 telecom manufacturer.
Okay.
And I just love the telecom industry. I love communicating and talking to people. So I love making things work that helps people talk.
Awesome.
So about 10 or so years ago, The economy started changing around a little bit, and the job market started to change. And I started to think about what I always wanted to do, which is, I have a passion and a love for helping people. I love working with businesses, being their trusted advisor, giving them advice, and just, helping make things grow in their environment. And then, so one day I got this idea. It's interesting because I was still working for Avaya at the time.
Yep.
And this was before I started my business. I got this idea that, I want to go back to what I used to do before I worked in telecom. And that was, I was a computer programmer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can lock me in a room, for 24 hours, no food, no water. I don't need anything. I'm just coding. All right.
Yeah.
That was great. I love that. And, thinking back in hindsight, what I really liked about that was, I just enjoyed making things happen. Just watching my creations come to life. So I got this opportunity one day to work for a startup company, a telecom startup company, believe it or not, to write software for a cloud-based phone service. And I said, hey, this is a great opportunity. So I dove right in.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that it wasn't quite what I expected it to be. I was part of a team, but I don't know, maybe it was the culture that I didn't like. Maybe it was just the fast pace. There was just something about it that didn't agree with me. So what happened was I started to come down with these crazy symptoms. Like I would start feeling sick. And I thought, all right, I'm just coming down with something. Then a week would go by and I was sick to my stomach. And I was like, all right, I just go to the doctor. And the doctor says, you're fine. So like after a couple of weeks of this going on, my boss tells me, you don't like working here. And I was like, no, I love it. It's crazy. This is what I always love to do. I love coding. But, the truth is that I really wasn't fulfilled.
Okay.
So it was about 4 months later. I only lasted about 4 months over there when I started to think about doing what I really love to do, and that is working directly with clients and being out in the field. And that's when I got this idea to start my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one bright sunny morning, October 11, 2006. Still remember it. I had a meeting with a prospective client. So I was basically off on vacation for the Jewish holidays, and I had a meeting with a prospective client to talk about this new business idea that I had.
Yep.
And if the meeting went well, I launched my business because I have a client. So anyways, my son decided to get born that day. He had other plans. So at 5 a.m., we're driving to the hospital. He takes his sweet old time.
Oh, yeah.
And so, about my meeting was scheduled for noon that day. At 11 o'clock, my son's born. And I tell my wife, after all this is over, I said, you know what? I'm just going to cancel my meeting. I'll stay here with you. And she's like, no, why are you doing that? I said, well, because you need me. And she goes, and she goes, no, I want to sleep.
Get out of here. Go get it.
Get out of here, right? So I say, look, you understand that if this meeting is successful, I'm going to do something I've never done before, and that is I'm going to go out and start a business. I have no idea what's going to happen, where we're going to get our income from, and we just had a baby. So you kind of understand what we're doing.
Backs against the wall, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, right? Lying there on the bed.
Yeah.
And she said, no, go ahead. I believe in you. You'll be successful.
There you go.
There you go, right?
Needed that backing right there, We always need that little bit of actual motivation to get us going, and then the momentum will just carry us. So you said earlier that you love to create things, you like to code. What is the single most thing you're proud of creating while you were coding?
So while I was coding, the thing I'm the most proud of is an IVR system that I developed. So IVR, for those that aren't familiar with the term, is interactive voice response system. So, those annoying things that you hear when you call a company, with a menu 15 levels deep,
Okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so I used to make those things.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
They're useful, that's for sure.
Yeah, right, exactly. They had their use. They still have their use.
Yeah.
So I created one from scratch. I wrote one for a company in New Jersey, and they actually sold it worldwide. So my software is running God knows where.
Yeah, you have no idea. It could be all over the world right now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's cool that you could impact something so large like that. That's actually really cool. One more thing.
Yeah. That was a good feeling.
That's amazing. So take us through what was that meeting like? How did it go down? You got the client, I assume.
Yeah.
There you go. So what kind of motions did that put in place for you there? What started to happen after that? What were the dominoes that fell?
Yeah, so the meeting itself was kind of anticlimactic. It was, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this business, and basically what I was doing for this company, I was being a consultant for them. They installed, or they were a PBX, a telephone system vendor.
Okay.
They didn't really have expertise in-house to install it. So my idea was, hey, you do the sales, I'm going to come in, I'm going to install it, I'm going to train it, make sure everything's good, button it up, make sure.
Dress it up, make it look good.
Make it look good. I make you look good, you win, I win. So that's basically what the meeting was. They were excited. And, the rest was just financials, boring stuff.
Hey, it works out.
But, that started me on a path, because I got that client, and then through word of mouth, I was referred to other businesses. And, within a year, I was doing pretty well.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I was busy at the time doing installations, traveling to, I wouldn't say exotic locations, but nice locations, and just having fun.
Awesome. So where would you say is the most exotic place you've traveled? You mentioned you've traveled, so let's start on the travel bug. I've caught it, so let's go.
Yeah, not so exact. Let's see. So I did a project in Miami, which to me is pretty
so good. It's going around. You're from New York, so for people that don't know, that is a fair 1,000 miles going down.
Yes, that is like the ultimate in exoticness for a New Yorker, especially in winter. I went to LA, so my two favorite places in the country, right there. I actually did a project in London, which was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
So that in terms of exotic, I mean, I also did the anti-exotic, like Chicago midwinter Fahrenheit.
Bringing 3 jackets with you, just freezing.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's the worst. All right, so you said recently that you went traveling. Tell the listeners where you went and how was it for you? How was the experience there?
So recently, I just came back from a trip to Jerusalem. And that was a majorly inspirational trip. I went there. It was just to soak up some inspiration, just to have a change of perspective, from the daily routine. I pretty much hopped on a plane. I just decided, now's a good time to go on vacation. And, for us entrepreneurs, there is no such thing as vacation. So,
no.
While I was there, I actually went on 2 business network meetings, and I couldn't resist. Right?
Yeah, I feel you on those. Got to get it done. So what did you see there?
So, I saw the ancient, the holy sites. I went around Jerusalem. I went to the Western Wall. I went visiting some relatives. I went traveling a bit throughout the country, and it's interesting. What I find the most interesting about traveling to another country is the language and the culture. So
what's different about the culture there?
yeah. So it's different. So what's interesting is that, Israelis, they're very smart. All the high-tech companies are there. It's also refreshing to see how Israelis can lose their temper very easily, yet a second later they're your best friends. They kind of express their anger. They know how to do that in a way that Americans, North Americans, don't really know how.
They confine it.
Yeah,
Lock it down, bottle it in, and it keeps a vicious cycle going on within you.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was taking a ride in a van, and there was a construction worker blocking the road, and the driver just wanted to just go right past him. So he has some words with the construction guy.
Some choice words, I'm sure.
Choice words. They start yelling at one another, and he just drives up on the sidewalk and goes, and then he bursts out laughing, and he's having a fun.
That's amazing. He's probably just thinking, what is the guy's behind me? What's his reaction right now? He's looking back at you, just wondering what the hell.
Exactly. Everybody on the van was clapping.
It was clapping. And you're wondering, are we going to hit anybody? Are we going to hit anybody?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, where else have you traveled just throughout the world?
Yeah, so throughout the world, I've been to a couple different places. I've been to Montreal, Toronto. Love Toronto. I'm actually coming there next week.
I'll see you.
London, Barcelona. That was a nice place.
Is that, you like the history there and all the buildings, the architecture? I heard that is just immaculate there.
It is. It's beautiful. And I actually went there as, when I worked for Avaya, I won an award. So they sent me to Barcelona. They gave me my own tour guide.
Ooh, yeah. There you go. Cashing in.
Yeah. So I was driven around in a Mercedes. I think it was a Mercedes. I was driven around Barcelona, and the guy showed me all the sites. Now, what's interesting was that I knew that there was an ancient Jewish settlement in Barcelona, because Spain used to be the capital of the Jewish community before the expulsion in 1492.
Okay.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Yep.
So I knew that there was some Jewish history there. I didn't know what. So I had him take me around the sites, and it was just fascinating to see. Like, there was an old ancient synagogue, and just the old Jewish neighborhood. And I was actually able to spot. They have the old city of Barcelona looks like any old city in any ancient country. Stone streets, low houses.
Yeah, the cobblestone streets, all the low houses with the roofs going down.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And what's interesting, and this is really fascinating. If you know about a little bit about Jewish culture. A Jewish home has something called a mezuzah, which is, if you look outside their door, it's something that's affixed on the door. Okay. So during the time of the Spanish Inquisition, Jews were given a choice: either convert or get out. So you convert to Christianity or get out. Yeah. So, most of them were kicked out. There were a few that remained. They didn't really convert, but they said they'll convert so that they can keep their home, because they didn't have where else to go. So what they did was they would cut a hole in the doorpost and stick this mezuzah inside the doorpost and then cover it up. So, I was curious to look into that. I was curious to see what that would look like. So I start walking down the street and looking at these stone houses, and I noticed that there's like this coloring on the side of the door. I go over to the tour guy and I said, "Look at this! Every single one of these houses has this rectangular shaped
miscolored,
coloring." And I said, "Do you know what this is?" He goes, "No, I have no idea." So I shared with him what I thought it was, and he was like, "Wow, I learned something new."
I learned something new just now too. That's pretty cool, because I want to go to Spain sometime. It's beautiful there, and I'm gonna have to look out for it now. That's really cool. I'm always interested in learning more about history and stuff. In high school and all that, I was a huge history nerd. I loved it, even now to this day. So, do you do a lot of reading?
I do. I actually started picking up audiobooks because I just don't have time.
Yeah, you prefer audiobooks.
Yeah.
Way quicker.
Yeah.
So what is one book that you would recommend to anybody that has changed your life or influenced you in some way?
Okay. So if I had to pick one book, I would say it would be The Four Agreements by Eric Ruiz. I forgot the author. I think it's Eric Ruiz or somebody Ruiz.
Okay.
We'll look it up. But The Four Agreements, that one completely changed my life. And in fact, if you read that book, you're going to start reading other books like it. It's all about your mindset and changing the way you look at things, changing the way you look at life. And I would highly recommend that book.
Awesome. That is 100% what this podcast is about, bringing new perspective to entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs, get on that book. I'm sure I'll have it in the show notes for you guys. So that's your book. So now what are your 3 truths? If you were to go around the world preaching 3 truths that you have learned throughout your whole life, and you only knew these things, and you were teaching them, what would they be?
Okay. 3 truths, I would say like this. Number 1, abundance, collaboration, and congruence.
All right. Can you describe why you chose those words?
Yes. Okay. So the first one, abundance. Everybody talks about abundance and thinking about mindset of abundance and abundance this and abundance that, but what is it all about? Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing I'm going to say is that everything you've always heard about it is true. And the way you look at things in life is how you experience them. So if you're constantly thinking, I'm broke, I don't have money, I can't do anything right, I never have enough time, I never have enough this, I never have enough that. Well, guess what? That's how you're programming your subconscious mind to continue on that path.
Yes.
Okay.
Subconscious mind, for anybody that doesn't know, it's like an operating system that's always running, and you can be the coder pretty much. You can see what is going on. We have Avrohom here. He's the coder, and now he's getting on the mindset code. So keep going. Keep spreading knowledge.
So now, if you change that mindset to abundance, now what does that mean to change to abundance? Well, first of all, you could expand this topic and it's so much bigger. So the first thing I would say is, you need to have gratitude. In order to be abundant, you need to have gratitude. You need to appreciate what you have in life. And that in and of itself, will change you tremendously. Mm-hmm. So, let's take a scenario, I don't have any money, right? All right. So instead of focusing on, I don't have any money, let's focus on, I've got my health, I have my family, I'm incredibly skilled at what I do, I have so many opportunities open before me, I'm so thankful for this. So what does that do? Well, the first thing it does is, it makes you think, oh, I have opportunities. Not that I don't have, I have a lot. So now you start seeing opportunities. And, the more grateful you are and the more thankful you are for what you have, the more you actually have because you're happier with that.
Exactly.
And then that just snowballs into more and more and more.
It's almost like you're manifesting what you want with gratitude. You're seeing opportunity, so you're manifesting more opportunity and you're noticing it more. So for everybody that doesn't know, your thoughts are vibrations, your speech is vibrations, and your actions are vibrations. Each one amplifies, but it all comes back to you, law of reciprocity. So be abundant, think abundant. So go on with the next one. What's the next one? Describe it.
Yeah, so the next one is collaboration. And, this one took me a while to get into my head.
As with anybody, we all think we're supposed to be doing it by ourselves. So carry on. Yeah,
and that's exactly it because, I started out as a consultant. Okay, as a consultant, my value add was what can I bring to the table for the client?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I recently revamped my entire business model, going from a consultant to a provider. And so now, you know, I'm not just providing my own services, I'm also my own marketing team. And that was, you know, a whole world in and of itself. And I'm still learning it.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're always going to be learning marketing. That's what it is.
Yes. So, you know, I started speaking with people and networking with people and asking questions, you know, how do I do this? How do I get my name out? And I start writing all these blog posts and these articles and doing all these webinars and stuff like that. And, you know, not getting any results.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right? So what am I doing wrong? So I start showing my work to people, and they're giving me some advice, some constructive feedback, you know, change this around, change that around. So I followed their advice and still no results. Okay. What's wrong this time? Well, your work is perfect. I don't know. Everything's good.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where I heard this, but it may even be a Gary Vaynerchuk video. He's full of this.
Oh yeah.
I think this is where I got it from. And that is, and this one, you know, it just totally blew my mind because it just made perfect sense. You don't have to do everything yourself. In fact, you're not supposed to do everything yourself because, you know, your business is larger than just you. Okay. You know, you are building a business within a community, within a society. So you need to be part of that society. And so, you know, the social media and why that's so powerful in this day and age. So what I learned was by collaborating, doing things like we're doing now, coming on as a guest on a podcast,
exactly,
writing a guest blog on someone else's website.
Mm-hmm.
That does two things. First of all, you know, it goes back to the abundance. You're being altruistic. You're giving of yourself. You're not afraid to share your work because you have an abundant supply.
Yep.
That's number one. Goes back to the first one. Number two, guess what just happened? You expose yourself to the other person's follower base. So now you just doubled your
target market.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, yeah, I enjoy that. Collaboration, for anybody that is not collaborating yet, you should be. Don't try to target people that are big fish. Go after people that are same size as you, and you guys can help each other grow step by step by step. You work your way up the ladder, and then eventually you approach the big fish. You eventually go into the big pond with all the big boys, okay? So whatever you do now, collaborate with people that are on your level or just above. That's what you should be doing. So now let's go on to the last one, congruency. Why did you choose that?
Okay. Yeah. So congruency, this one, it's the last, but it's also, I would say, a prerequisite to success. Okay. What is congruency? Congruency, and I'm just making up this definition, but
it's your definition.
Yeah, my definition, right? Congruency is maintaining equilibrium between what's inside and what's outside. So how you view yourself should be equal to how others view you, or how you want or expect others to view you.
And also how you conduct yourself as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So let's think about it. You know, you're growing as a person, right? You have bad habits. We all do. We all have issues that we're working through, right?
Yep, 100%.
Now, when you see a successful person, you know, you think of the most powerful person you can think of, you know.
Whoever that is. Doesn't even have to be monetary.
Right, exactly. You know, and you know, the person that I look up to is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Mm-hmm. He's a big one. He's just big. It's authentic too.
Authentic, exactly. It's not the money. It's how he conducts himself. And you know, he talks so much about how he sees himself and how he's self-aware. And you know, that's a big part of it, because you know, for you to conduct business like that, right? Who do you need to become to conduct business like Gary? Okay. You can't be the old you, the problem you, the you that's dealing with, being broke, that's thinking about being broke, that's dealing with, I don't know, your marital problems or
whatever it might be,
whatever
some kind of
issues, right? So what you need to do is you need to first, and this is, by the way, this is the same concept that applies to business, that applies to relationships, to any area of your life. So to obtain congruence, you need to first map out who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Okay? So you've got this image, let's say this big, powerful businessman, all right?
Mm-hmm.
How does this person act? How does this person walk? How does this person talk? How does this person feel? Now, putting yourself in that image, right? When you're thinking of yourself, okay, are you thinking of yourself as a loser, as somebody that can't do anything right? Well, guess what? That's not going to work.
Exactly.
You're just going to project that.
Exactly. You're just going to feed into your own little cycle here. That's all it is.
Right.
So, something I took away from what you just said was try to mimic and be like the characteristics that person has that you want to portray. Something I took away from Think and Grow Rich was his personal counsel that he has. So Think and Grow Rich is an awesome book by Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill says his counsel is like Thomas Edison, Napoleon Bonaparte, I forget who else it is. There's a lot of big names. And he says he draws off of specific characteristics from each and every single one of those people in his he calls them his board of governors for his own life. And then he does like a meditation to connect with them and to try to bring out those characteristics within him. So then eventually it's not like you're doing this yourself. You're stepping into a new you where you're drawing from other great people. So that's something that I find is completely useful and relevant to what you just said. Draw from those people. Have your own little council around you that you can talk to in your own head, and you will be astounded to how you can connect to these people and their characteristics.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing because it goes deeper than that. That is definitely the first step. Conjure up those personalities, create your own personal mastermind.
Exactly.
That's
a great way to put it.
Yeah. That was another term from Think and Grow Rich. I love that book.
It's amazing.
But it goes deeper than that though, because for congruence, it has to be 100% authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you reconcile these outside personalities that you're bringing in with your own internal personalities, right? Because anybody can act, anybody can get up and act, hey, what's up, right? But people will see right through it. It's not going to work. It has to be authentic. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is, and I think you mentioned this about how Napoleon Hill used to meditate on this. Mm-hmm. Because you really need to think about what about those character traits are you attracted to? Okay. Yeah. Chances are those are the same character traits that you have within you because you saw it, you noticed it.
We all realize the reflections of others within us. We see what we see in ourselves. That's really all it is. Our outside world is seeing, if we have a connection with somebody, it's because we see ourselves within that person. So keep going.
Yeah. So it's not that you want to become, let's say, Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Because you can't.
No,
you're not.
No, exactly.
Right?
You're your own person.
Exactly. And I don't want to be Gary because I'm not Gary. I'm me. Mm-hmm. But the characteristics that Gary has that I find admirable, I bring out those characteristics within myself. Mm-hmm. So they are 100% authentic because that is me talking, not me trying to be someone else.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I see your point 100%, and I agree. That is what it has to be. Everything has to be authentic, because people buy from people they like and that they trust. And if you're not authentic, likely they're not going to trust you. Simple as that.
Exactly.
So what would you say is the key to your success so far? Has it been those three things: abundance, congruency, and what was the second one? I forgot already.
Oh, yeah.
Brain fart.
Collaboration.
Yeah, what we're doing right now, of course. So would you say those are the three things that contribute to your success the most, or do you have another thing that contributes a lot?
So I have one other thing that ties them all together.
Okay. Tell us. Lay it on to us. We're waiting with anticipation right now.
Bated breath.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that, my greatest asset is that I have an open mind. Okay. And, it sounds really simple, but it's not.
No, 100%.
Because you have to have the ability to hear someone out, even though their opinion is radically different than yours, and try to honestly listen to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can make a decision. Do I want to follow? Do I want to pay attention to that person, or do I just disregard it? Yeah. That's fine. It's a conscious decision. Mm-hmm. But to at least be open to new ideas. So the fact that I have an open mind, and I had a desire to learn. I wanted to better myself. I wanted to
grow.
Yeah. And so I started surrounding myself with people that I felt would get me where I wanted to go. And I started to listen to what they have to say. And some advice that I got was pretty hard. Okay. In my past life, I may have gotten offended by some of the things people told me. Mm-hmm. But now, not only it didn't bounce off of me, I appreciated what they had to say. It was so totally different. I thanked the person for taking time out of his day, to evaluate my work and give me these, constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And in fact, because I listened and I evaluated what he said, I came out stronger and much better because of that.
Exactly. So you always have this mentality of looking to grow, looking to better yourself, and so that really comes down to being open-minded. If you're closed-minded, you're not going to want these opportunities. You're not going to want to grow. You're going to want to stay the same. So yes. I commend you on having an open mind. I would like to think I have one as well. And for anybody listening, cultivate that open mind. Keep learning new things. Keep stretching your ideas. Learn new things. Do new things. And really, really try to connect with people on a authentic basis, because people love that connection and they will really, really start to appreciate it. So one last question, and then I will not bother your time anymore. All right. What is your vision for the next 5 years? And what legacy would you like to leave when your time has come?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is a profound question. My vision for the next 5 years, I'm looking to grow my business. I'm actually looking to do more than just grow my business. I have several ventures that I've got my eye on that I'm working on. Mm-hmm. In fact, one of them is I'm coming to Toronto for next week.
Awesome.
So I would say within the next 5 years, my vision is to have a business that's doing several $1 million a year. My vision is to be happy, which is something you have to be before you go out in business, right? And
yes.
That's what I worked on. Healthy, my children should be doing well. So I mean, that's basically my vision.
Okay.
My legacy that I want to leave over, it's very simple. I want to be known as a person that is always there for people, that is always there to help out, and that, you know, just to be the best version of me that I can be.
Awesome. I love it. Love to hear it. To be the best human being that you truly can be. That is a bombshell that I'm going to leave this show on. Thank you for coming out. Is there any way that we can contact you, follow you, reach you, if anybody has any more questions? Because you've dropped a lot of knowledge for these people, and I am sure these people will want to follow you back. So where can we find you?
Yeah, so, you know, there are two places. One is my website. Of course, you can learn a lot about me. That's probably the best way to reach me. Simiplex.com. That's SIMIPLEX.
We will have that in the show notes for you guys. All of these will be in the show notes, by the way.
And then you could also check out my Instagram feed. It's also at Simiplex.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for coming out for the first ever episode of Real Conversations with Real Entrepreneurs. I have loved how many topics we've touched tonight. I'm sure you'll be on in the future. Thanks for coming out.
It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Take it easy. All right, guys, that is the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying around for so long. If you guys enjoyed having Avrohom on the podcast, let me know. You know what? He had a great time. I had a great time. Let me know if you guys would like to hear more of Avrohom. And if you guys like to follow him, you know what, guys? All the information that he has is in the show notes. So if you'd like to follow him, you'd like to see what he does and how he can help your business, go check him out. That is it. Till next time, guys. That is the Real Conversations with Real Entrepreneurs with Kevin Thompson. And I'm out. Take it easy. Enjoy your week, and we'll be back.